All right, so now hopefully you've kind of got this kind of program up and running and you're ready to go. How would you do this properly? This is considered pretty bad in the world of OOP. I am running right into my object directly, and I'm just saying, hey, override the name, override the type. I'm also accessing stuff directly. It's like the public is able to come in here and grab whatever they want out of this particular object and manipulate things out of this object. That's not usually how we want to do this. What we want to typically do is we want to control how we access our attributes. We want to control how we access our attributes. So what we want to do is typically we want to have a function in here that maybe sets the name and a function that maybe gets the name. So let's do that. Let's create a function called setName. It's going to take in a string. I'm going to call it iname for string. Okay. And what it's going to do is it's going to go pname is assigned iname. That's it. And then I'm going to define another function called getName. It's not going to take in anything. But what it is going to do, it's going to return the pname. So I've added two functions inside of the object. These are basically programs inside of the object. They are called methods. This is called an attribute. This is called a method. These particular methods change, or they control the way the internal variables are accessed. So they're called accessor methods. So let's run this. And we got our class. So we're going to go. There's a definition. Notice I've got interesting choice, by the way, on how it's printed. But anyway, I've got, oh, it's alphabetical. Not that interesting. Anyway, so there's a method. There's a method. So now we get Oreo. Oreo pops into existence. Now I'm still going at it directly. So we didn't really learn anything there, but we did basically see that these methods are now part of the structure of the class. If I want to now change, instead of going pname is assigned Oreo, Oreo knows how to set Oreo's name. So what I could do is say, hey, Oreo, can you set your name to be Oreo? So see the difference in line 12, right? I'm deliberately keeping line 13 the same. So line 13 is a direct shot into the object. Line 12 is me passing in a string into a method in the object, which is then doing the assignment. I'm controlling the way stuff is accessed inside of my object. So I'm going to go next. I'm going to go. So there's my pet, and now here's the set. So watch what happens to the set. It blows up. Oh, and apparently something fell off my desk too. It blows up. It did blow up, and it blew up for a pretty good reason. It did blow up for a pretty good reason. All right, so thinking about it now, I'm going, oh boy, do I really want to talk about this? I think I probably do. I was going to delay this part of the conversation, but I think I want to talk about this. So here's the deal. Anytime you're kind of accessing your own variables here, I'm going to basically take the object of pet, and it's going to access itself. It's going to access itself. And so I'm passing in an instance of the object and the name. This comes in by default. You don't say anything when you're doing your call here. It's going to assume that the Oreo object is coming in as the first argument. So here, then I'm going to say that self dot pname is iname. All right, so let's visualize that. Hide my shame and go now again. So boom, I'm going to create the pet. I'm going to go, and what it just did there is it's inside of this now, and it's about to go ahead and do the assignment right there. Boom, there's Oreo, right, going in through the accessor method. And then we come out, and then this is a straight shot in. All right, so going back a little bit there to see what's happening is that, all right, so line 11 gave us this Oreo object, And here's an instance of the pet class. Oreo, I've asked that object to set the name. And off it goes into its own definition to set the name the way that I told it to set the name on itself. So that's what's happening here. This guy's just about to leave now. Set name will leave memory. But before it does, it's taken that instance and in pname, it's stuck in Oreo, and then out it goes, and it's gone, right? So I've completely controlled that method. Now, we've seen this kind of stuff before. If you don't mind, let me just put it completely unrelated. Remember that strings can do things? Remember that? So if basically you had a variable called grant, right? That's a string. We go visualize the execution and basically just move on to next. There's a string sitting in memory. And remember that strings can do things. For example, I can go string 2 is assigned string dot upper. So I don't pass anything in, but watch what happens when I run this thing. So what's happened here is that this string passed itself in, converted to uppercase, and then that whole thing returned uppercase back into that variable. That's kind of what's happening here. Oreo gets created, and then I ask Oreo, just like up here, I asked the string to go to uppercase. Here I'm going Oreo.setName. The Oreo object knows how to set the name, and off it goes. It passes itself in, and then it passes in the string. Okay, so let's get rid of these things. Self. So if I wanted the get name, by the way, get name is also going to be self. And I'm going to basically say return the self.pname. So down here, I'm saying print. This is actually going to be print Oreo get name. I go visualize the execution, go, go, go. So there's our set kicking off, and then the very bad form direct hit there. And then we get Starbuck, and oh, that's not a function, is it? Get name needed to have parentheses after it. Sorry, folks at home. But it's good that you're seeing me make the mistakes, because that way, if you actually do this, you'll maybe remember, oh yeah, Grant did that mistake too. So let's go down, down, down. So now we're about to print the get name. And so it's going up to get name. It's going to return self pname. And the return value is going to be Oreo. Oreo is going to get shoved right there, and it's going to become Oreo as a cat. All right. So notice this is using an accessor method. This is using an accessor method. By the way, Starbuck knows how to do this too. Starbuck probably could do that just as easily. So let's go ahead and do that and make sure that works. And it's mad because it's 2 dots. And let's go again. Get rid of my shame, go to the end. So it worked just fine, right? So now I'm using the get names. And now let's go ahead and change all these guys so that they're doing the same thing with the type. I don't have any way to set the type or get the type. So, so I'm going to actually pause the video for a second and just retype some of the stuff so that you can kind of see how this would work in an object way. So I'm just going to pause and then give me a chance to just change some code. So I've just done a bunch of changes. So what I did do is I added the method set type and the method get type, which is going to basically get itself. It's going to get its own instance fed in, and then a string, which I basically put into its variable here. And same deal with this. I changed the Oreo set type instead of a direct feed in. I basically changed it to use the accessor method. Starbuck I've completely renovated, so it's using set name and set type as Oreo is. And then down here in the print statements, I've got basically get name, get type, and I have included the parentheses. I have not run it yet, so let's see how this goes. Boom, visualizing, and I've already got an error because it's ret run, not return. So see, I told you. See, why make my life easy? All right, so here we go. We define the class. The class now knows how to do a lot of stuff, which is awesome. Then we get the pet. It's going to go through and do those various assignments. Starbuck also comes along, right? And now it's setting the type. All right, and off that goes. Oops, we're gonna now I'm at the print thing. So now we're using the accessor methods. Here we were, they're all accessor methods, but those were the inputs. These are now the outputs. So retrieval methods. Anyway, so I'm gonna go and get name is gonna go and print, right? Oh, that's right. It had to resolve get name and get type on this line here, and so Oreo is a cat, and then it more or less does the same thing for Starbucks. Is that all right? So this video then was meant just to get you guys used to the idea of using accessor methods to control these particular attributes. The next video, we're going to really hit the idea that you should make it so that nobody ever can directly influence these variables unless they're using an accessor method. So we will do that. We will do that next.